Hello guys, Vengeancer here, bringing you another video, and it's been a little bit, so I'm going to catch you guys up before I start actually playing here. The plan today is to gather, and we're down here in Bear, where I normally level up my gathering. The reason I am down here, I put on all my life skill stuff. I think I got it all on there. Let's get the Magico out. Manos Ho, I suppose you could say. Learn more. What is my mastery? 1442. Okay, good. Now, before I get to going on that, I'll explain what I'm doing down here in a second. But first, I spent some silver. Notice I went from 12.6 to 9.6. Actually sniped something off the market. If I can find it. There it is. The Tri-Black Star Dagger. Somebody's selling it for 2.9 billion, which, if you go look at prices, and with the luck I've been having with Spectres, it's pretty good buy. It was the only one on there, so they had it max listed, which, whatever, that's fine. I don't care. So that's 3 billion on that. But if you look at the price of a Tet, they're going for 12. So if I enhance this from Tri to Tet, that's a 9 billion net gain. And I have a pretty sure I have a foolproof way of doing that, which I'll go over in the future. But the gist of it is, you have a Tri, you do a Tet attempt on your big stack. If it fails, it'll drop to duo, but then you cron the duo to Tri, and you're back at Tri, and you just keep doing that because duo to Tri only costs you 100 cron stones. The only thing you're spending each Tet attempt is 100 cron stones and 20 durability, which, that's 20 memory frags. Fine, whatever. And then the stone that you need to enhance it, which you have to farm those anyway, so you can't buy them. So it's not costing you very much for each Tet attempt, and every time you fail, your stack will increase instead of staying the same for the Tet attempt, so eventually you will get the Tet, and it's a lot cheaper. So you just keep track of how much you actually spend on memory fragments, or in terms of value of memory fragments, or cron stones, depending on if you farm the cron stones, or buy them with silver, or just have them from events. I have like 1,400 of them, so I have several attempts before I even have to worry about spending silver. The only thing I really have to worry about is the memory frags. So, it's a lot cheaper to go this route than to try to build it from the bottom up, or to just straight out buy a Tet one. It just depends on your RNG luck. In my experience, I have a terrible time with going from plus 12 to plus 15. That's where most of my spending happens. Once I get to Pry, then yes, Tet and Pen cost me a little bit, but the 13 to 15 is the worst for me, so buying the Tri for 3 builds skips all of that. Plus, if I manage to upgrade this, I will make 9 billion silver in a few minutes. It just depends on the RNG. So I'll try that in the future, but for now it's going to set in there. Right now, today, what we are doing, we are down here in Bear to gather some weeds. The reason weeds are important is because I need them for alchemy. Now, I plan on leveling my alchemy to Guru, because Guru is what is required for you to be able to craft the light stones. Light stones is another big silver avenue. Now, I have, let me go here. I have a few artifacts that I've gathered from just grinding and doing stuff, but I have quite a few of these light stones. These aren't worth very much, 5 million a piece. I can always sell them if I want to. That one I kind of like, the plus 25 stamina. I've been collecting these combat ones for the combat so I can level. But I got a couple of AP ones that are worth 7 mil, that one's worth 10. So nothing too fancy, nothing too special. But if you get Guru Alchemy, you can actually craft the unopened ones so you can open yourself, which is my goal, because on my other character I have do a load of these imperfect ones, you know, like, what is that, like 26 or so on just those. And I haven't been hard farming them either. These are just ones I've been getting as I was playing. But if you have Guru Alchemy, you can actually craft them into a Purified Lightstone and open it. So you need the Imperfect Lightstone, you need the 10 Mem Frags, you need Blackstone Weapons or Blackstone Armor times 10, and then you need Powder of Time and Pure Powder Reagent times 50. So that's not too bad to make. But you have to get your Alchemy to Guru. Your Powder Reagent. Not hard to make. So I am going to be spending quite a bit of time crafting Pure Powder Reagents and Clear Liquid Reagents. Both of them are a low-level alchemy recipe. Both of them require purified water and weeds and a secondary herb or plant, whatever you want to call it, and then an NPC item. So there's what you need for Pure Powder Reagent, and here is what you need for Clear Liquid Reagent. So you need salt instead of sugar, and you need sunrise herb instead of silver azalea, and weeds will replace wild grass, so you can use that in exchange. So both need weeds, both need purified water, you need salt or sugar, and you need sunrise herb or silver azalea. I have my workers gathering both sunrise herb and silver azaleas. I have a ton of purified water, and I'm going to gather weeds today, and the rest you can get from NPC. So these two things are what I'm going to use to level up my alchemy. The secondary thing I will use is the Clear Liquid Reagents will be crafted into Sinner's Blood or metal solvents, both of which are useful later on. And then the Pure Powder Reagents, as you saw, they will be used for the Purified Lightstones. So I need a ton of weeds and I need a ton of purified water, which we will get this out of the way here in a bit. I have 9,000 right now, which isn't a huge amount, but it's still quite a bit, and I don't have to leave Heidel to gather this. I can go and take the 17,000 empty bottles and just stand down here at Heidel River near the dock and just gather until I'm out. And you get a bottle of river water, and then you just filter it, and it becomes this purified water. So simple to get that. Weeds, you just go gather with a hoe or with your bare hands. And then the sunrise herbs and the silver azaleas, I have a ton of. I don't even know if I'm collecting silver azaleas anymore. I am not. So I could go ahead and get back to doing that if I wanted to. I don't know if I have a worker for that or not. But it's only one contribution point. I could rearrange some contribution to do that, which I may. I have quite a few contribution tied up in other things that I don't need, that are more long-term. I invested some up here in Elia Island that gave me some storage. I need to pull those eventually. And then I also have some in this node over here. Where's it at? I'm trying to remember where it is. It's here somewhere. Maybe this one here. This, no, it's not that one. This one, Ancient Stone Chamber, that's where it is. Because I'm trying to get enough Trace of Ascension to make the elephant armor. So I will be pulling this back out as soon as I have enough of those Trace of Ascensions to craft. And then I'll repurpose my points over here to Stonetail to craft them. And then I'll be pulling all of those out. So I will reinvest in Silver Azalea production, and I will reinvest in the Port of Furia thing. And then once I have my ship armor done so that I can upgrade to the Carrack, I will pull all of those points out. I won't need nearly as many points in Port of Furia or in Elia Island, so those will be repurposed back into other life skill points. Right now I only have 384 contribution, close to another one. I need to get back and this will change as I get back to doing alchemy and cooking, because of the byproducts I use for contribution, and I will keep doing that until I hit 400 CP. If I can hit 400 CP, we won't have a problem with any of it, it'll just go. Alright, so this is for an hour. Life XP for 1 hour. That's 10%. Let's look at the family. What's in here? 50%. Extra life XP, 50%. So what we're going to do is we're going to use up this. We're going to use this. We're going to use this. And we're going to clear out some inventory. We're going to hit. That's only got 19. That'll be fine. We're going to hit that. And we're going to start gathering wild herbs. Now the question is, are we going to get weeds from this, or am I going to have to switch over to... Doesn't matter, because if I use wild grass, it is essentially the same. I might have to pull this Manos hoe back off of here if I want weeds. But the wild grass will take place of the weeds, so it doesn't really matter. Give me 1 sec, I gotta check the phone. Okay, sorry about that. I was waiting on a text. Alright, so weeds probably will get you more per gather, but the wild grass works as well. And I want to check my idle storage real quick. If this freaking map will work. I want to check my idle storage real quick for the wild grass. So there's those two. I got 15,000 wild grass, so that will work in place of weeds. When you're doing alchemy, weeds and wild grass are interchangeable. I don't even know if... I think there might be a node somewhere that has wild grass, maybe. But I have 30,000 altogether, almost 31,000 of weeds and wild grass. So it really doesn't matter in the long run. I think for this gathering session here... Oops, I went the wrong way. Make myself look dumb. For this gathering session, I'm going to just stick with the hoe on because I've already used the scrolls to get me more experience. And I would rather have the gathering experience over the weeds, and I'll just deal with the wild grass. It's just a little bit of a different recipe. Oh, I also forgot. I need to feed these little guys. That'd be good. Okay, so what am I going to talk about today besides the stuff that I've been rambling on about so far? I had to get a lot of like maintenance done, basically. Let you guys know what the plan was and let you know where I plan to move forward. So I am focusing on alchemy and a couple of other key life skills to supplement the grinding I've been doing, because I need to make back the 3 billion silver I just spent on the Black Star Dagger, because I got tired of waiting on the specters to drop, and also I decided that, like I explained a little bit ago, I decided it'd just be more beneficial to start at a higher tier than trying to blast my way through memory frags to get it up to try. But the way I'm going to rebuild my silver, especially after the last loss I did on the enhancing for the Muskin shoes, that just didn't work very well. The RNG kind of screwed us on that one. I plan on, first step is selling off my Kudum, because a Tri Black Star is exactly the same as a Tet Kudum, which is what I currently have, so it'll remain the same. It won't be any worse than what I have, and my Black Star is never going to go below the Tri, because I will cron the duo attempts and it'll always go back to Tri, so I won't have to worry about not being able to grind with it. So we'll recoup a little bit of silver, probably 1.2, 1.3 billion. Maybe not quite that much. I know that Kudums have been dropping in price just because of the black stars. However, I also have the gold I haven't, or silver, sorry, that I haven't collected from selling the old Tet Dim tree that I had before I made the pen. And then I've got a bunch of other crap to sell still in the market that I need to have a value pack on to do so, because there are pre-orders for it. So I'll get that done, and that'll recoup probably the 3 billion by the time I sell the Kunum and the collect all the other silver. So we'll get basically a Tri Black Star for pretty much nothing, which is good. However, moving forward, I'm going to need to make more silver because I need to buy the rest of the gear and enhance the rest of the gear. So I'm putting a lot of my eggs into the basket of 3 different approaches. We have the grinding, which I get tired of doing, but we do have that. That's always a backup plan. We can just go grind for pure silver and sell everything that we get. That's the easiest way to get silver. But the other ways are, I've been doing a ton of AFK processing behind the scenes. I've almost grinded my way through most of my iron ore. I had like 500,000. I think I'm down to somewhere around 100,000 now, which, you know, it takes a long time to grind through all of that mess, even with mass processing and a higher mastery. But the plan is to keep on processing behind the scenes and get all of that grinded down. I have 400 and something thousand copper that I got to do, and then I also have to take the melted iron shards and the coal and heat it down into steel, and then I'll have to take the melted copper shards and the melted tin and melted zinc shards and melt them into brass and bronze. So all 3 of those things will feed into my crate empire. And then when I finally get done processing all of that, I plan on processing down and chopping all of the different lumber that I have, which there's hundreds of thousands of that laying around in my storages. It's probably going to take me 3 weeks to process all this crap down if I just leave it going and check it about every 20 minutes. I have enough weight. I don't have as much weight as a lot of people, and I don't have crystals and stuff making my weight go up any more than it already is. But without a value pack, I got 2,300, plus I have the 125%, so I can go to like 26, 2,700 weight before I get overweight and it stops. So I have quite a bit of weight there to work with, so I just leave it AFK processing and check it about every 20-25 minutes, depending on which processing it does. It could be faster or slower. Now lumber weighs more, so I won't be able to leave it quite as long, but with the ores, I can leave it quite a bit before I have to. It's usually about every 20-25 minutes. Did I miss one over here? Oh, there's one. The pets help quite a bit whenever you're looking for these things. So the processing is a very slow burn in terms of silver, because you have to process everything down and then everything goes into trade crates and you have to wait for that. So probably a couple months down the line, I'll be ready to start actually producing a ton of silver from that. So that's a long-term strategy to kind of give myself a savings account, so to say, because the silver is there. I just have to grind it down and process everything down, and then actually turn it into crates. So if I find myself completely out of silver after a bad enhancing session, I can just sit and idle and wait for the silver to come rolling in. You know, it's not like it's It's a guaranteed thing. I'm not going to lose silver to be able to do it. I won't need more silver to increase my profits from that. I just got to wait for it to happen. So that's my long-term low investment strategy for the trade crates there. Now the short term, I already touched on the grinding, but the other short term is leveling my gathering here, like I've been doing right now, and the fruits. These things sell for quite a bit each, so you know there's quite a bit of money in these fruits here to get out. So that's another thing. But I'm rolling that into alchemy and cooking. The alchemy and cooking are kind of my medium in strategy in terms of length of time. So if you need immediate silver, grinding is immediate, fishing is going to be immediate. But for the intermediate, longer term strategies, I am looking at leveling my alchemy to guru so that I can start rolling in the silver from producing light stones for the artifacts. Those, even if you don't open them, they're about, I think, 15 to 20 mil. I think on average it's like 18 mil a piece, maybe. It's been a little bit since I looked at it, and it might have went up or down. So 18 million silver per light stone. You only end up making about 85% of that, so you're probably looking at like 14 million per light stone, give or take. So that's not too bad in terms of profit, especially if it's just a byproduct of grinding. You're getting the imperfects. You're getting the imperfects from doing gathering and all your other things. So it's just another way of increasing your profit without too much effort. Because the Purified reagents and the alchemy and stuff, that's stuff I would already be producing anyway just to level up alchemy. Because I don't do, to level up cooking and alchemy, I don't do the same strategies as everyone else. I cook super low tier recipes. So to level my cooking, I cooked mostly beer and grilled bird meat because the ingredients were very easy to come by. The workers were just rolling it in. I had hundreds of thousands of it. And you have to remember that crafting, it might take 15 times more crafts to level to guru cooking with beer. But those 15 times crafts also give you 15 times the amount of chances to get byproducts. And the byproducts are giving you XP and contribution, so I'm leveling my contribution and my cooking at the same time by doing that. And the only thing it's costing me is the time to gather more materials for cooking utensils, which I don't mind, because in turn I'm leveling my gathering and getting more resources. I'm not just getting rough stone or logs. While I'm doing that, I'm also getting other types of timber and other types of stone. So it's a three-phase effect again, and everything, multitasking is your friend in BDO because you're constantly doing more than one thing at once. I think I got off my rotation a little bit here, but it's fine. I may have to trash some of these trade items. But anyway, back to my main point. Short-term strategy is grinding and fishing. And rift bosses, which I kind of consider grinding because you're having to go and physically, actively combat against things. The fishing is it's not much silver, but it is short term because you can AFK fish overnight or you can active fish in the hotspots that I went over and turn in the daily quest every couple days for the triple floats that I've went over a couple times there. You can do all that stuff. That's short term silver. It's very quick to do. You don't have to wait days or weeks to get it come back to you. The other life skill that I consider short term is hunting or trading. Farming can work, but it doesn't make near as much money as I guess it's kind of on par with, it's not as quick as fishing or grinding, but it is faster than cooking and alchemy, because all you gotta do is just plant the plants, wait for them to grow, harvest them, and they don't take very long to grow. You know, you can get 2 or 3 rotations a day if you're constantly online. So I guess farming's pretty quick too. Selling, bartering, you know, bartering I consider a little bit more long term than cooking and alchemy, but not as long term as trade crates. So it's kind of in between those two. So my strategies are going to utilize gathering to feed the other ones, and then fishing and grinding to get me through until my cooking and alchemy are ready for me to just pump out thousands and thousands of crafts, which I'm getting there. The alchemy is going to take precedence over the cooking because my cooking is already Guru. You can see it's already Guru 10, and I'm waiting to build up more beer ingredients. And as I was explaining, I like to cook beer and grilled bird meat for the byproducts. I don't do it for profit. The beer is a necessary, and even grilled bird meat, they're both necessary to keep your workers churning in resources, and you gotta have resources. So it's a necessary thing unless you just want to spend the silver and buy it off the market. But I think that's dumb, because the silver isn't what you're losing out on. It's the chance for byproducts that you're losing out on. And the only thing it's costing you is time. You know, if you were cooking something else, you're losing the opportunity to cook something else. And in an actual investment strategy, opportunity cost outweighs the short term, which is the short term would be byproducts from the beer. The opportunity cost would be the time spent cooking the beer that you could be spending that time cooking something else that is actually profitable in terms of silver. But I don't look at it that way, because the contribution, mine is more of a long-term investment strategy, because the contribution points that I'm going to get out of the byproducts, and also the increased experience and the beer that I don't have to buy, all outweigh the opportunity cost for me. Now, for other people it won't, but for me it outweighs the opportunity cost of cooking imperial dishes. And the only thing it's costing me is time and the cooking utensils. That's the only thing I'm losing out on, the way I look at it. But in BDO, your character has to be doing everything. It's not like you can tell it to cook and also go actively play at the same time. He has to be standing there cooking, so you're missing out on something all the time to do other things. You just have to prioritize what your strategies are versus somebody else's. You take that off the screen since I'm kind of done talking about that. Yeah, we'll go back up here. Get that. Hey, look, a deep blue hoof root. That's another thing that reminds me of. I've been doing Dream Horse attempts. Not getting very lucky on those. Let me remember to use my Spirit Stone, even though it's one of the crappier Spirit Stones. You get them from grinding polys. They're practically free at that point. And then when they're used up, you can grind them down into magical powder so you can use them to repair other ones. Alchemy is also the reason I've kind of decided I'm going to delve back into alchemy again is because I've been wanting to get to Guru for a long time. Just my OCD bothers me. Hey, look, there's somebody that thinks they're going to come gather here. Not going to happen, dude. I've been here. Yeah, they left, or they jumped servers. A lot of people level their gathering here. Anyway, I wanted to jump back into alchemy, one, because of the what I was talking about in terms of just silver, to pump out silver. But I also, and because of the OCD, I hate looking on here and seeing Master instead of Guru, and Master and Professional instead of Guru. I want Guru all the way down. So, Alchemy is one of the closer ones and easier. Gathering, I am working on. It's kind of, like I said, multitasking. I'm leveling my Gathering while setting up to level Guru, the Alchemy. So. But the other thing is, I wanted to delve into Alchemy Stones. Right now I'm just using these crappy Life Spirit Stones. There's the stats on them. But you can actually get pretty good Alchemy Stones if you craft them and then you try to do the upgrade and polishing and stuff. So one day I want to delve into that, but I want to have my Alchemy to a place where I'm at least Guru before I start trying to craft that kind of stuff and work on that. So I'm setting myself up to work on things later by doing this now. Plus I decided, since I was going to spend the silver, I thought about it a long time. The whole time I was grinding inspectors for the last couple of weeks, and I've been checking the market every little bit to see if maybe a Tet would go on sale. And there were a few that went on sale for 10.9, and I almost bought them on the Tet Blackstar sub weapon. I also looked at other class weapons because I still have weapon exchange coupons from seasons past that I have hoarded on my other character. I could have bought one and it just exchanged it over to a dagger, but I decided the try was better. It's not such a huge amount of silver to put out. Plus, I can make a little bit of content trying to enhance it, and if it fails, well, you know, we'll address that when it happens. Or if it succeeds, we make 9 billion silver instantly. So it's pretty good. But I've decided to. That was a lot of stuff all at once. I've decided to delve back into the Gathering and Alchemy because coming down here to gather, even though I'm not getting anything too significant out of these. You know, I'm getting some upgrade stones here and there, and fruits and stuff, and you know, the deep blue of fruit, and then materials for Kafirs. But the rest of these herbs and stuff are just, these three are just going to go into leveling alchemy, and then this stuff I'll just end up selling on the market. Like those will be sold on the market. I don't need them for anything. But the rest of this stuff is just pretty useless, other than selling it. But it's still resources that are coming in. You know, you're increasing your wealth every time you hit the gather button. I mean, you have something that you didn't have before at your disposal, so it's still increasing your wealth. And you can argue, oh well, you're not getting value out of your energy. Each energy point, you can calculate down how much each energy is worth if you go like meat gather or milk gather or something else, and say, oh, you're losing this much silver if you don't gather this every time you hit the gathering button. But you know, it's still a point of, I'm gaining resources that I didn't have before, so I'm still increasing my wealth, just might not be as much. And again, it's an investment, so the opportunity cost of I will eventually have Guru Alchemy, that's going to be more valuable to me in terms of silver versus short-term silver now of going and gathering meat and selling it on the market and losing some to tax. Doing it this way and then crafting to Guru Alchemy doesn't lose me anything to tax. So it equals out to be somewhat similar in terms of profit. Because having the life skill leveled up is more valuable to me than the actual silver that I would get, if that makes sense. I lost my place. There we go. I need some water. I have to make sure and get my water intake in. I'm one of those guys that I aim. I've been slipping a little bit recently, but I aim for a gallon of water a day. Being the size of me, I need at least a gallon of water a day to not be dehydrated. Now, the the last year or so since I quit working out and lifting all the time. A lot of that muscle that I had has changed over to not muscle. You know, I've gotten pretty overweight in terms of where I should be, but my BMI always reads overweight because of the muscle content I had. But as it stands right now, I think the last time I weighed, I'm around 245, 250, somewhere around there. So I'm on the bigger side, and I could probably stand to lose about 30 pounds of that, or at least get back to lifting heavy and have that recomp from fat over back into the muscle that I had before. You don't realize how quickly you lose the muscle if you stop lifting. It goes pretty quick. But our circumstances were set to where we just couldn't work out anymore. Both me and my fiance, we didn't have a place to set up our home gym, and we were just not in a place for having a gym membership. I hate going to the gym, public gyms, but that's why we bought all the equipment before. You know, I had the power racks and stuff, bench racks, squat racks, just all the stuff that you need to do all of the major exercises, the cable machines for rowing and lat pull downs, all the free weights for the bench, the squat, the deadlifts, to hit all the major groups there, and then got the bars for, and the dumbbells for hitting all the smaller muscle groups, shoulders and arms and stuff. But over the weekend I did break down and go ahead and decide to invest my time in getting our home gym set back up. It's not as ideal as it was before, because where we were at before our previous house burned. Oh, here we go. Here's some wild herbs. Before our previous house burned, it was actually a 2.5 story house. So we had the main floor. The attic had been converted into the master suite because it was an older home. So the master suite was the whole upstairs. It was just one big room with a bathroom attached. So we had our master suite up there, bedroom, bathroom. And then the main floor was just a living space, you know, living room, dining room, kitchen, offset room, and then there was a couple of bedrooms there as well that we used for, one of them I used for an office for all the computer stuff, and then the other one was kind of just storage. But then it also had a full basement under it, and that is where we put our home gym, you know, because it was concrete and it worked great there. We don't have that luxury now where we're staying at. So we have had to convert one of the smaller extra bedrooms into our home gym, but I also have to share it with the cats. They got their box in there, so it's kind of, it's not ideal because you're either scooping the litter box every other day or every day just to keep the ammonia down, because when you're working it, you don't want to breathe that. It's not good. But you do what you got to. I decided I had to be back in shape, but we got all the equipment moved. It was a pain in the butt, but the trailer made it easier. So we just hooked that up and we went and got all of our stuff out of storage. So I'm pretty happy about that. I will be able to get back to lifting and being healthy again. But that all starts with the water. I have to make sure and get a gallon of water in each day. Dehydration is a killer, and it will kill your gains. It really will. So myself back to drinking half of my meals with all the protein and stuff, and then just eating healthier again in general. You get in a bad habit quick, especially if it's like, oh, we're on the move, we got to go to all these different stores, we got to replace all this stuff, we have to go here, 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 and here for shopping, or you're just like, okay, today we have to get this project done and we don't have time to stop and cook, so you just grab something wherever you're at, and you get into that habit of eating out and being unhealthy very quickly, on top of not being able to exercise the extra weight off. It gets bad pretty quick. But if you've already been in shape before, or you have been in a state where you've lifted a lot, and I've lifted on and off since I was 8, 9, 10 years old. My dad was big into it, and I've been into that ever since. So, you know, I've lifted on and off for the last almost 20 years, and it's crazy that it's been that long, but that's what it is. It's been somewhere around there. I've lifted on and off for that long. But so, you know, muscle memory, it's a thing. It comes back quick. So as quickly as you lose it, it almost comes back just as quick. The thing is to start slow and to work back up to where you were. But for me, it starts with getting the diet right and making sure I get the water intake in, and just making my body get used to being sugar-free and just healthier all around in general, and getting used to being in a state of soreness and high movement every day, because lifting, you're constantly sore. That never goes away. There's always some body part that is sore, and you just have to have the mentality to deal with that constant pain. Although it's not massive pain, but some people don't suffer from the DOMS as badly as other people. But I've always had problems with that. Like, I'll work out, and I can push and push and push in the gym, but then I know the next day that, like, if I do an arm workout, I won't be able to straighten my arms the next day without some significant effort. But you just got to get used to feeling that again all the time. More wild herbs. But I went through this before, because I had gotten more involved with building a career and actually moving my fiance here a few years ago, and I let myself get out of shape the first time, not quite as badly as I am now, although I didn't have near the muscle content that I did this time before I quit working out. And I decided that I needed to do something drastic, because I have a family history of high blood pressure, so it was getting pretty bad. So I was like, well, we're going to crash diet. We're going on a fast track crash course to get in shape just as fast as I possibly could. So I did and I might make a video on this in the future, maybe. Just a pure workout video, nothing to do with BDO, but this gives me something to talk about while I finish up gathering here. And we're getting overweight. I'm going to have to destroy some of these trade items in here. I decided to do a 3-phase burn effect, so I would fast for 16 hours a day and have a small eating window of about 8 hours. And I would make sure that I was at least 8 hours fasted by the time I woke up. So I was getting up at like 7 a.m. and I had a late work schedule. It was 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. was the work schedule. So I would get up at 7 a.m., mess around for an hour, you know, kind of let the night wear off, and have some black coffee. And that's all I had in the morning, black coffee and water. And then I would go do a full heavy as I could, like heavy lifting session. So I was lifting fasted, and some people think it's dangerous, but really it didn't affect me at all. The coffee kind of offset that, and it offset the hunger, so you didn't feel sick or anything. But I would lift really heavy for an hour, and then I would get ready and go to work. And I wouldn't eat anything until about 3:30 in the afternoon, and that's when I would break my fast. And I was making sure that when I did do that, I was going, I was stuck to a keto diet. So I was fasting 16 hours a day, lifting heavy on an empty stomach, so that it was also burning calories, and then making sure that I only ate within a ketogenic friendly diet, which means you're only eating less than like a certain amount of carbohydrates a day, which I was aiming for somewhere around 30 to 50 grams for my body weight. I lost 12 pounds in a week, that first week, and this goes without saying, I also was making sure that let's get rid of these and see if this makes a difference. These are just trade items that I don't really care about. I was also making sure that I was getting a gallon of water a day. So there was that too. Rearrange this stuff. I'm still pretty heavy on things. What? 0.10. 0.10. Inventory. That all, yeah, we can get the rest of the enhancing or the gathering session out of this. I'm only going to go for another 10 minutes or so, since I talked so much at the beginning. But anyway, so it was a triple burn effect, and then whenever I started slowing down, the first week was 12 pounds down, and I was like, oh, this is great. And then, it tapers off, so I was losing like 5 pounds and then 4 pounds, but that's a lot of weight in a month, when you're dropping like that. And I went from 230 down to like under 200 pounds in a month or two. And, within 6 months, I was in pretty good shape. But I also threw in some HIIT training, high intensity interval training, in the evenings to also, so I was lifting plus doing HIIT training once or twice a day on top of the fasting and keto diet, and you just pushing. You can't do that forever. Your body's going to give out if you keep abusing it like that. But it got me in shape really, really fast. It does work. And that's where I'm starting at now. So I am getting my body used to having as much water intake as it should. A gallon a day. You have to hit that daily, and after about a week or so, then you're going to feel thirsty all the time if you don't get that gallon. So you kind of train your body to need that. And then the fasting is where I'm starting at. I'm going to make sure that, and I've been working on this behind the scenes for a while. I haven't really said much. Wasn't sure I wanted to introduce that aspect of my life onto YouTube, but I decided that it's part of that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna introduce it. But I have been dairy free for over a month now, and that pretty much cured the migraines that I was having. I haven't had one since I went dairy free. I had kind of a headache the other day. I was having really bad allergies and stuff, but I have not had the migraines since I went dairy free. So it was pretty good. So I've already conditioned my body to be dairy free, and it's been over a month, so it's used to that now. And now I'm starting and I always aim for a gallon of water a day. I know I've slipped up here recently, here and there, but I am making sure to hit that milestone every day. And now this week I'm introducing the fasting again. So being on the night schedule, I've been up since it's going on 3 hours now. I've been up for a few hours, and then I'll be up until so basically the schedule is you sleep with fiance being on nights. I've adhered myself to her schedule, and I have to rotate my sleep a lot because there's stuff I have to get done during the day. So I'm constantly missing sleep here and there, which isn't good. But I've never slept well, so it's pretty normal for me to only sleep 2 or 3 hours. But what you do is you sleep. So I'll get up at 2 or 3 in the afternoon and then fast until about 11. And if I need to be up to get things done, because hours of business are during the day, not the evening or nighttime, I will actually switch my sleep around so that I can be up to do that. But the idea is that you base it on, you divide the day into threes. It's 24-hour days, so you have 8, 8, and 8. Essentially, for 8 of those hours you're sleeping, 8 of those hours you're fasting, and 8 of those hours you're able to eat stuff. So you end up with a 16-hour fast because the 8 hours that you're sleeping, the idea is that you're not eating, and then you fast for 8 hours after you get up. Because only fasting for 8 hours while you're sleeping, your body is not burning the calories near the amount of calories as when you are awake. So the idea is to have half of your day where you're not eating, the other half towards the end of the day where you are, because the main part of your work happens in the first few hours of the day as it ramps up. So you're burning a lot. It helps. It really does. So I will be getting my body used to fasting, and there's days that you slip up. No one's perfect, you know. I mean, if you're feeling really bad and you eat, just eat. But I am starting out the fasting, so today, like I said, we ended up getting up like a little bit before 3. And so I will be going until about 11 o'clock before I eat anything. Now, black coffee doesn't count because it doesn't break your fast. Plus the caffeine helps with the hunger, and it also helps with other things. It keeps the brain fog down if you are prone to getting brain fog from not eating, which if you're not used to fasting, you'll get the brain fog. And closer to that 16-hour mark you get on the fasting, you'll get lightheaded. And then when you eat and break the fast, you'll get pretty lightheaded or buzzed from it. It's a weird feeling, but you get used to that too. But it recomps your body, you know, it gets your body used to having eating windows. You get all your calories in a few hours versus that, and the rest of the time you're burning fat. But step 1 is getting used to fasting, and then step 2 will be the calorie restriction or keto diet, depending on I base which one I do off of how much I need to lose in what amount of time. But I will probably work on definitely the water and the fasting first, and then I will set into working out, getting back into a daily exercise routine, whether it be cardio or lifting. I'm not a big fan of running. I really am not. It's bad for your knees. A lot of people like it, but if you're trying to build any type of significant muscle, running all the time your body will eat the muscle away. It's not good for that. You know, if you want to be a long distance runner and you want to look like a stick, go right ahead, run all the time. Now walking I'm okay with. It's slow, steady state cardio. If you need cardio, go ahead and get it in. I'm more of a fan of HIIT training. It gets your heart rate up just as high as if you were to go sprint somewhere, and it takes a short amount of time and it boosts fat burning longer. So, big fan of HIIT training. But that's my 3-phase approach. Get the gallon of water in a day and get your body used to that. Then get used to fasting and get the exercise. Get used to the exercise, and then you can restrict the diet afterwards. Your body doesn't like to change. It doesn't. It likes to stay the same weight that it is, and it's a defense mechanism. Nobody wants to starve, you know. And on a biological level, your body will not let you starve. It will eat everything that isn't vital. So first goes the fat and then the muscle, and those kind of go hand in hand at the same time. But there are ways around that. That's why you have to lift heavy while you're dieting. It promotes muscle growth instead of muscle deterioration. And that's also why it's important to feed yourself plenty of protein while you are dieting. Of course, leafy greens are also good. You need vitamins and stuff. So, but there's my short 10 or 15 minute take on fitness and how I've always done my fitness. This video has been almost an hour. I can get away with recording longer videos because fiance is doing overtime, so she'll be gone pretty much for a week straight. So I don't have to bulk record this week, so I can get away with the longer videos. But I think I've touched on everything that I need to touch on. Here's where my gathering's at now. We've gained about 15%. It takes forever to level gathering. And I think there's somewhere around that when it gets to Master 10, it starts to seem like it goes a little faster, but I also didn't dump a ton of things. I got energy recovery stuff on and drop rate on, but I have only a little bit of gathering XP on. I don't have full gathering XP pots or scrolls on. But I'm going to finish this loop and then, well, maybe. Let's see if we can install this. Cool. Alright, I'll finish this loop and then end it off. Hopefully, if you're watching this, you listen to the whole thing. I touched on a lot of stuff and a lot of strategies that I am implementing in my own life and my own video game. But this is what my videos are going to be about moving forward. We are going to recoup our silver and up our gear score by getting the Tet Black Star and then the Pin Armor. And I'm going to support my enhancing habit with all the life skills and supplement it with grinding, while also hopefully outside of game making myself healthier so I can stay around and continue making these. But leave me a comment. I'm always fascinated to hear how other people play their video games. You know, Black Desert isn't just a right way to play it. There's tons of different strategies on how to make progress on it every day. And I'm always curious. That's why I watch other video content creators and why I look up guides and stuff, because I want to see how other people, I like to hear and see how other people approach making progress in the game and what they consider progress. Me, I consider increasing the wealth of my account on video as progress. You know, whether it be in life skill levels, character levels, skill points, or gear score, or just overall silver or items. You know, all those things I consider to be growth and enhancing the wealth of the account that I play on. And let me get back to the mount here. But all of those things I do consider as making progress. I'm just curious how other people consider progress. You know, maybe it's I want to be max level, or I want to be the highest gear score possible, or I want to be the highest trader or the highest gatherer. You know, the rankings are a thing. On here, I'm no longer ranked on anything. I was ranked on horse training for a while, but that has surpassed me by quite a bit. My horse training is only Master 2. Plus, I'm back on Medea server instead of Serendia just because of the there was somebody on Serendia in the gathering spot. So anyway, that's all I got. So if you made it this far, thanks for spending your time with me, and here's all the crap that we got while we did about an hour of gathering. I guess I only did about 50 minutes, but same thing. I didn't want to run my energy all the way down, and this video has hit about an hour, so I'm cutting it off. Again, thanks for watching and spending your time with me, and as always, until next time.